What's up, listeners? Welcome to M2M Coverage. This is an NFL segment. We are ready for Wild Card weekend. Week 17 was fun to watch. Sunday Night Football, man, I'm still thinking about that Washington football team versus Philadelphia Eagles conclusion to the NFL season. That was a lot of controversy sparked by Doug Peterson's decision to bench Jalen Hurts. Kevin Geoff, how we doing? What was your guys' reaction to Week 17?
Honestly, I think the people who are bashing Doug Peterson are taking a bit overboard because at the end of the day, the Eagles don't care about the Giants. It's about evaluating their quarterbacks. Now, from that standpoint, I do think they should evaluate Jalen Hurts more, especially in an end-of-the-game situation. But all the people who are saying that the Eagles threw this game, let's not forget, Jalen Hurts did not have the best of games. And it was 17-14. The football team was still up on the Eagles when Jalen Hurts played. So there was no guarantee that had Jalen Hurts stayed in the game, the Eagles were going to win. And also the Giants fans have no right to complain when they were a 6-10 team.
Yeah, I've heard that argument, and I was one of those people who bashed Doug Peterson just because as a fan, I just didn't enjoy my NFL season concluding like that. But Geoff, did you have a different reaction?
Not really. Doug Peterson, he's an idiot. He should be fired as a head coach. What he did to his team, is disappointing to see. I don't think any of the players like what he did. But with that being said, I see all these Giants fans complaining. But like Kevin said, they were a 6-10 team. There are teams like the Miami Dolphins that are 10-6, and you don't see them complaining. So because of that, it's gone a little too overboard, but I see why people are trashing Doug Peterson, and I think he needs to get fired because his play calling is complete garbage.
All right, we start off the segment with some hot takes. But anyways, let's get into the real topic of this segment, and that is Wild Card weekend. We will begin in the NFC, and we'll start with the Buccaneers-Washington football team matchup that was decided as the last game. I have a little bit of a funnier question for you guys today. So the main matchup is between Chase Young and Tom Brady in this game, right? Because Chase Young's walking out of Philadelphia saying, "Tom Brady, I want you." So my question for you guys, we'll go with Geoff A first, is if Chase Young and Tom Brady were both fast food restaurants, which ones would they be?
I would say that Tom Brady's McDonald's because, he is – it's like such a iconic fast food restaurant, but it's not great. And as for Chase Young, I would say he is something new and upcoming like Chipotle. Yeah, it's a new restaurant. It looks great, has a lot of potential, and it's already great. He's already a Pro Bowl player. He's already Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. Kevin, I want to get your answer for this one.
I'm gonna say Tom Brady is in and out because it is, what you're gonna get from him. It's always greatness. There's nothing bad. And also, Tom Brady, like I said, I personally think In-N-Out's the GOAT of burger franchises, and I'm gonna say Tom Brady is the GOAT out of all the quarterbacks in the NFL. With Chase Young, I'm probably gonna go with Popeyes. Something fresh. Popeyes came out with that chicken sandwich. Well, Chase Young gave that same impact that the chicken sandwich gave to the Popeyes franchise to the Washington football team. Chase Young is an absolute game changer. As a rookie, he's a team captain, and it's going to be exciting to see how Chase Young matches up with this Bucs O-line that has been shaky throughout the season.
For sure, and I like both of those answers. Chase Young was talking trash, and today Bruce Arians actually responded with watch what you're saying about Tom Brady. So, the Bucs are heavily favored, but I know our picks will not necessarily all be in agreement because we tend to disagree on our picks. So stay tuned for our picks that we will post later on. All right, let's get into the Chicago Bears and New Orleans Saints matchup. This is the 2 seed versus the 7 seed. Saints are at home coming off of a 33-7 defeat of the Carolina Panthers, whereas the Bears are coming off of a loss to the Green Bay Packers. They just lost to MVP Aaron Rodgers. So not much to say about the Bears. But I wanted to ask you guys how the Bears can pull off the upset. Geoff, finish the sentence. The Chicago Bears will upset the New Orleans Saints if.
if Mitch Trubisky has a good game and if Michael Thomas isn't the same. It's difficult to come back from a high ankle sprain. You saw that with Saquon Barkley last year. We saw that with CMC this year. And I'm not sure how Michael Thomas will do this year, especially since he hasn't been great this year, and he has barely had any playing time with Drew Brees. And as for Trubisky, he has been surprisingly good recently. He started off the season pretty bad. He got benched for Nick Foles, but at the end of the season, he has been pretty good. He has won some games with the Bears, and if Trubisky has a good game, I don't think he will. I think there's a chance that the Bears can upset the Saints.
Yeah, there's always a chance. I would say the Bears defense hasn't been as strong as we all thought it out to be in recent games, but the Bears offense has been putting up 40 points in consecutive games, I think, towards the end of the season. So the Bears offense definitely found some of a dynamic nature by inserting Trubisky back in the lineup. Kevin, how do you see the Bears upsetting the Saints, if at all?
Yeah, no, I think the Bears actually have a chance. The last time the Bears and the Saints played, it was actually pretty close. I would say two big things. The Bears can upset the Saints if, one, David Montgomery can keep his hot streak. The Saints are historically known as a good defense against the run, but the past few weeks they have faltered against the run. Dalvin Cook did well, Clyde Edwards-Helaire did well. Of course, Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts ran all over them. But I think the biggest thing is going to be, can this Bears pass rush get to Drew Brees and, mess with them? If you throttle Drew Brees, he's not going to do well. Can you keep hitting Drew Brees, especially a fragile Drew Brees who's coming off a lung and rib injury? The Saints offense is still clicking without their top weapons, but if this Bears off defense can get Drew Brees under pressure, then you need to see players like Marcus Callaway step up if Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara are not ready to go. And that's a big question, especially in the playoff national stage.
Yeah, for sure. I like both of those answers, and we'll see what David Montgomery can do against one of the best rush defenses in the NFL. All right, moving to the last game in the NFC. This is a divisional matchup. These teams split the matchups that they played in the regular season. Rams versus Seahawks. I don't know if Jared Goff, I think he should be ready, but he had thumb surgery. We're not sure about his status going into the game. The Seahawks are coming off of a close game against the San Francisco 49ers. They did end up coming back and winning that game. But Geoff, I'm going to start with you again. Who is the X factor in this matchup? One player who is going to change the game.
I'm going to go for the obvious one. It's Russell Wilson. The Seahawks go where Russell Wilson goes. He was an MVP candidate in the beginning of the season, and the Seahawks are great. The later part of the season, he really fell off, and the Seahawks haven't been a great team. And apart from quarterback, the Seahawks, their defense isn't that good. Their wide receivers are pretty good, but with Russell Wilson underperforming, you see Lockett and Metcalf underperforming too. So the X factor has to be Russell Wilson.
Yep, that was a pretty solid answer. And the Seahawks team is kind of confusing because their offense started up really high, their defense started up really low, and they kind of both gone in opposite directions as the season has progressed. Kevin, who is your X factor in Rams versus
My
Seahawks?
X factor is Jalen Ramsey. Honestly, Jalen Ramsey has been a lockdown corner. Him and Jaire Alexander in the league where now it's super pass happy. He has locked down almost every single player he has played against this season. That's just impressive. And when DK Metcalf is not doing well, Russell Wilson is not doing well. And this connects to Geoff's answer, because Tyler Lockett has failed to step up in the past few weeks when Metcalf has been struggling. So if Jalen Ramsey and this Rams secondary kind of locks down his offense, then, I see this as a very close game. I don't see the Rams offense scoring much. So it's all up to the Rams defense to keep them in this game. We saw this last week against the Cardinals. The only way the Rams really kept in it is because of that huge pick six that the Rams defense had. Rams defense needs to manufacture points for their offense.
Yeah, Rams defense has been lights out all season. They single-handedly beat the Cardinals with Walford as their quarterback. My X factor is actually going to be Cam Akers because I think the Rams running game is their only way of scoring points. I don't know about Jared Goff's status, but I do know that last time he went to Seattle, he looked very off in throwing the ball, and he made some mistakes in that game. the only way Jared Goff succeeds is if he has a strong run game behind him, and Cam Akers has shown flashes of that. So this is a divisional matchup. I'm sure we'll all be looking forward to it. It's definitely going to be a close game. These two teams know each other very well. And yeah, that will conclude our NFC Wild Card preview. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to our channel, M2M Coverage, for more sports content.